Are you telling me that after 7 years together, you still get aroused by the same woman?
I do.
How often do you do it?
Oh, it's different now because we got the kids.
I peed.
So what makes Couples Retreat different from other comedies that we've seen?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's very relatable humor. These characters are relatable. They're middle class, hardworking folks that have regular problems just like you see around the world. As I said, we've been traveling with this. Same problems that are going on in Russia, that exist in Sweden, exist in the USA. They're regular hardworking folks that are dealing with their relationships in a way that matters to them. And it's fidelity, infidelity, working too much, not making time for each other, being in control too much in a relationship. So I think these are very relatable things, what I liked about it. And also I liked that it has a positive message of relationships. Sometimes Hollywood can be cynical about relationships or want to not embrace or reward that. You know, we made a movie about breaking up. It was called The Breakup. And that was a good movie about couples that break up. And this was more of a movie to say, hey, let's celebrate and enjoy the fact that this is the right decision in life. It's hard, and it's pretty funny to look at because the dance we've played out with couples has gone on probably since the cavemen. You know, and you bonk the lady on the head and drag her around. That's how you used to communicate. Now we've learned some new skills, but we don't quite ever get it right.
And you have a lot of acting experience yourself, right?
Yeah, well, I've been an actor for a long time. Yeah. So I have an appreciation and respect for actors because, you know, ultimately, performance, story, that's the most important thing, I think. So you put all the focus on the visuals, and even in this movie, we have a beautiful tropical setting and these locations, but ultimately, it comes down to a little shot just like this one on me and somebody talking, and that's the most important thing, you know. And so I think a lot of times we set up a lot of multiple cameras and we really let the actors give them a chance to improvise, to work, to have fun.
So do you become more picky being an actor yourself, or, I mean, with the scenes?
Well, I think you have an understanding for what that process is, but we involve the actors early. For example, Vince is writing on this movie. He writes a scene, we bring the actors in, we rehearse that scene. We listen to them, then we write down what they say. If you prepare a lot, then when you get on the set, you can just let the actors work, and it's a better thing than landing on this set and saying, okay, what do we do now?
Guitar Hero was
yes.
a big part of this movie. How good are you at that game?
I am, we play Guitar Hero and we play Rock Band, both, you know, Rock Band, which has the drums and bass. I'm a bassist, so I'm an okay guitarist, but I'm more of a bassist. And I was in a band at the office with Vince, and he was the guitar player, and he's very good. We had a drummer and a singer. And we were doing very well. We were competing against other bands in the office. And suddenly one day, for some reason, Vince threw me out of the band, didn't tell me, and hired a new bassist, which I found out when I showed up for band practice. So I was very disappointed. So I had to join a rival band, and now I compete against him in the office.
Okay, you know that Malin Åkerman has been a singer, or has
yes, has a beautiful voice, I've heard.
So do you have any plan of making a band there?
Well, I think we would be if Vince would take me back as the bassist, because I'm exceptional, if he would have me back, and we could have Malin as the singer, and I know that Malin's husband is a drummer, we might have the best rock band in the world.
From sun to beaches and palm trees, would you like to make a movie here in Sweden someday?
Yes, well, I was here in Sweden. I'll tell you, there's a lot of advantages of shooting in Sweden in the summer. You get a lot of daylight hours, which is excellent because you can really shoot long days, which is a serious advantage. I was here one time before. I was here right around the solstice. So it was quite an experience to go into a restaurant. You generally come out, it's dark, it's still light. And you go into a bar, you come out, it's still light. I loved it. It was really, really fun.
So next project, I mean, do you want to continue directing? Yes,
I would love to. I've been fortunate to be able to act, produce, direct, and I want to continue it all, hopefully. They're all very different. And I have a company with Vince and Victoria Vaughn, who's a producer on this movie, and we're developing a lot of movies, so we'll continue to develop and turn out some new stuff. And I hope to produce for Vince to direct someday.
Being from Sweden, I have to ask you, Malin Åkerman.
Yes.
How was it to work with her?
Oh, fantastic. First of all, it's so fun to be here with her now, being in her hometown. And she's the best. She's so beautiful and talented. And, you know, it was great how we worked with her because it was very organic. We had the four guys. Vincent had the four men in this movie in mind. And then it came time to cast the women. And we were going through that process and thinking, there's a little restaurant down the hill from us that Vincent and I would go to and talk. And we ran into Malin. And it turns out she lives near there. And then about a week later, we ran into her again there. And it was fortuitous. You kept seeing her there. And looking at her work is so diverse. From The Heartbreak Kid to The Watchmen in a short period of time. These are two opposite movies, and she handled them both so well. And it was very, very obvious that she was great, and she's absolutely stunningly beautiful. So we just talked to her. And, of course, you know, when we had the meeting with her, we put up a lot of pictures of Bora Bora behind us. So as soon as she walked in, that's what she saw. And we're like, you want to do this movie? Yes.